I'm going to present something from a surface-based level in consideration of all perceiving or have an opportunity to perceive what I present. How does the unborn baby, the unborn child, unconscious mind and all that, brand new, ain't even been out. How does the unborn know its birthday? I don't overthink. It's not that deep, but it is, depending on what level of consciousness you are currently existing in, which this would peculiarly highlight and make aware to you. Don't be scared. Don't get frustrated. Again, I, amongst others, part of a collective that are here to help. These presented measures of effective enlightenment and make aware to your conscious, to not only you, but prove effective to me through how one might be able to assess said level that one exists at currently. The answer, well, find out.
Perfectly under my desk, and it is so quiet that none of my coworkers even know I'm using it.
Strengthen and tone your leg muscles.
But that's not the whole.
Flexibility and balance.
They find out from within.
It's like a workout, like I'm challenging myself, but it's still super easy on my joints with no impact whatsoever. Now I can walk longer.
Okay.
Something that's unborn. You know that he needs to go and find out within.
He doesn't. He finds out. He finds out from within. Because he's unborn at this point. And I never said or indicated anything in such as far as the birthday, meaning the celebration of knowing. But in question, I said, how does the unborn know its birthday? Meaning it's not necessarily his yet, but it is being indicated that it is time for said day of birth. It's time. How? Perhaps the whole 9 months in development to become conscious of how to get out of what I'm in. I'm comfortable, but I'm too big in here. Now I have to what? Find the way out. But I'm already within. So as long as I find it, when I'm conscious enough at what time that I do, I never knew, but I find out from within. That's the surface level joke answer. The conscious level transformation, rebirth, God within is how you find out. Trusting yourself, knowing yourself.
We still talking about the unborn
Yes.
that don't know it?
Yes, because it's the level of perception that you're at right now, which is the result of this question. For anybody, when I put it out to the public, I'm just testing the hypothesis because she didn't even come up with that. Some people stop and they think too deep about it because they don't think it's a joke, but they do. They think it's a riddle, but it's really easy. It's an unborn. I think it's more so of a, does the person, whoever it is, when any question is asked, this one being specific, do they use their senses more than others? Do they not at all? Where did they give up thinking for an answer? Or what have they done with everything that I said? Did they miss something? Because I lay it out like 3-4 times and I said the answer. Because how does? Now, if you were to be in question of asking for details, then I could say, okay, yes or no, or no, I'm not providing any tips, but you didn't ask, which is good as well. You took on the challenge of trying to answer it yourself. Understand? You don't have to. But at the same time, it makes me aware of how conscious I am, and it makes me aware of how conscious you are. There's a difference, but it's not a bad thing. Understand? So I've just gone through a rebirth. And today, well, coming into is 3/9, okay? March 9th, okay? 999, okay? I've been asking God, with all the content that I've been making, as I told you, right? And putting it together to display how I got to this point, how divinely guided remember when I was in here talking and stuff? How divinely guided my life has been, protected, and how do I know this? Well, I don't gotta prove that to nobody, but if we need me to prove now, let me prove it to you. How did I know that tomorrow, 3/9 coming in, is the day that I start? Didn't. And I've been at the threshold of, what do I start with? When do I start? When is my first post? Because once I post, I'm assured of what God told me is going to happen, but I don't know. But I got to find out. It's the unknown. But I've been at the door, knowing everything I know from back then, bringing it to the now, and able to bring all assessed information, collect it together, and find out the answer. Don't really know, but I ain't going to ask nobody. I'm just going to find out. I'm just going to do it. Because it feels right in my soul to do, because I'm conscious. And from everything that I've been through, I know that this is the right time. Gotta go. Gotta press the start button. And I have a hypothesis in theory, that being such, but I also have supporting facts, which will be displayed, which is going to draw in the interest, like I said, initially when I told you about this idea 6 months ago, and then came back with whatever I was talking about, which all even collectively, because I had a birthday, but guess what happened on my birthday? That was my actual birthday. I called it my rebirth day, and I started. I put the content out. I said that this is the time, but it wasn't. I still had more procurement. But how did I know that that wasn't it? Because I found out, and I'm about to find out now. Do you understand?
I'm still.
Well, I don't know. The thing is, but I'm not unborn. Quick answer is rebirth. Because if the unborn knows already, then he must have been born again. In which, born again, what of a situation is that? Born again, renewed mindset, you don't know, right? Transformation. From within, Christ is within, he's in that level of consciousness and knowing, be still, know that I am God. Identified with that because you're resonating through him now. And why question what you don't doubt? Why not go forward confidently, knowing that God would only allow you to even present the question to yourself, am I ready? Is it time? Yes. Why? How do I know? Because I know God and I know myself. And from within, why would he present said question without the possibility of it being such? And who's to say that I'm wrong if I go ahead and do it when I'm the only one in control of it being right? Because ain't no date been presented to me. So what else do I have to go off of? All I know. So I'm just going to find out, because from within, the right decision. And I got support of theory to prove fact. I'll lay that out as I go. But the procured notion, the interest is already going to be drawn in by the end of it. What people will actually find out is not the right or wrong answer, but how much they overthought it initially. And then are able to encouragely not only find a way of rebirth, awaken to a spiritual awakening, go to that renewal, because they're now drawn in all these worldly ways of consciously thinking, how can, it's simple. When you don't know nothing, you have nothing to compare it to. You have nothing to draw to conclusion of why it might be the right answer. So a baby, what does a baby do? He gonna grab this orange, he gonna grab this, and if you pop his hand, that's how he finds out that was not the good thing to do. But if it's a toy, and he playing with it, and he can do this every day, it must have been the right thing to do. I went for it. I find out from within. Everything within that little child said, touch it. Put it in your mouth. Until he gets cognition that Hey, don't do that. Now he knows. Otherwise he doesn't. And he born. So how did he know that it was time to come out? He was looking for it the whole time. He been ready. Big child, you feel me? Ready to get up out that uncomfortable now space. Get up out of here. I want some real food now. My eyes open. Man, what? Took the whole 9 months. It don't just come overnight. Here it is. Yes. Find out that was the way. Because it wasn't over there. You was kicking on the stomach. It wasn't that. But she was looking for something. Unconsciously, consciously, you're looking for something. You don't even know that you're in somewhere. You just know. Understand? And by measure, when you're renewed like that, at that state of consciousness, as a child, you're the closest, they say, to God. Because you just came from. So what else do you know? But how it feels within. It's time to get out of here. I'm no longer the size that I was. I feel it different. That's all that I know. I'm a baby. I know. It's deep, but it's not.
I mean, if you make yourself believe what you're bringing out, and it's like, don't think of negativity, don't think of nothing else, just I'm going to think positive no matter what.
Highest conscious.
This is you thinking that,
and knowing.
And I guess it's you knowing that
yep.
It's supposed to happen tomorrow.
The only difference is it's a theory at this point, hypothesis, if will.
Right.
The only thing that I got to do is support it with proper facts, proving evident to true, even if it is wrong. If I've built up enough proof as to what I said, such as scientists do now, that would lay claim to us being half monkeys, right, and evolving. How? But they bring the supportive facts. How did you get that? Maybe we made it. Who knows? But a lot of people just simply believe, and some people say that ain't true because God didn't say it was like that. So, and I know God is right. Well, then you know what you know. Go against it. Yeah, but they got these supportive facts. Okay, what if these are scientists now. What if they created it? Okay, what about the dinosaurs? What do you have notion to prove true? The skeletons that they built. Yeah, they can make those. Have you? But what did he say? Do not be conformed. Meaning, do not draw everything that you know to be true from what the world tells you. Lose way of that. Renew that junk. Become a child again and simply go within if it feels right, based on what you knew from back before you reached the point of rebirth. Obviously, doing them drugs again does not feel right. That would notion that I should not do. Ain't nobody got to tell me right from wrong at this point. But based on what I know, and losing and unlearning the ways in which I was navigating through my survival mode, now I know properly. I even know you wouldn't give me the right answer, but I didn't know that it would end up being a conversation like this. But the intention was meant, because I knew if I could pretty much get you to a point where now you're left with something that's going to draw your attention onto as you go to sleep. And it's deep, but it's not. Mm-hmm.
What are you trying to do with this plan tomorrow, or whatever that is? You
started off.
Started off.
Yep.
Started off doing what?
This.
What is this?
The first video.
Huh?
The first video.
Oh, video.
Well, yeah, so at the same time, all right, so I'm writing a story, which is going to be my book, and I'm pretty much in between two precipice points. My birth, point I'm at right now, and everything that God told me will be fulfilled. Prophecy, purpose, with full control and knowing that He entrusted me, based on my consciousness, to fully have control on faith that I'm divinely supported, and it's guaranteed to work out. I get to choose how I get there. using my creative abilities. I could draw, I could use music, I could use whatever, but it's gonna work. He said, I don't care what you do, I trust you. Do it. And you're being supported, meaning that protected, supported, all of the notions that you're doing a good job are gonna be met, and you know how to find that. Whether within or you just need some more confirmation, I'm gonna set it up for you. You know how we talk. We've developed the code at this point because of the relationship that I had with God. So I know who I am. Nobody else knows. I don't care if they do, because me moving off this amount of faith and continue to get up here and sound crazy only draws what? Highlight to what he said in the word. if by worldly view I'm insane or out of my mind, it is for God. If I'm not being crazy or insane, it's for you. And to do things for the appeasement of people over the pleasing of God, that deems that you're not on some faith type time and what you set out to do. And without faith, you cannot please God. And he said that as well.